If Mac Jones was in San Francisco, he would be playing like Brock Purdy.
That is a slap in his face.
No, it's not.
He's not just a system quarterback.
I think, they brought me here to play as a backup, and that's my job.
A guy who everyone wrote off as a huge bust 2 years ago is now outperforming a $265 million quarterback at literally 1/12 of the cost. For those of you guys that don't know, I'm talking about Mac Jones, the same Mac Jones who got benched in New England, the same Mac Jones who couldn't win games as a backup in Jacksonville, the same Mac Jones that Dan Orlovsky got roasted for defending back in 2023. Well, guess what? Dano might have been right all along, and Kyle Shanahan, he finally got his guy 4 years later. So let's rewind to April of 2021, the NFL draft. The San Francisco 49ers just traded 3 first-round picks to move up to the 3rd overall selection. Trevor Lawrence was going to Jacksonville. Zach Wilson was heading to the Jets at number 2. And everyone, I mean everyone, thought the San Francisco 49ers were about to draft Mac Jones. Chris Sims, who's literally one of Kyle Shanahan's closest friends, was publicly confident that Jones was the pick. The rumors were swirling. Alabama's national championship quarterback with the highest completion percentage in college football history seemed like the perfect fit for Shanahan's system. But then they shocked the world and selected Trey Lance, a guy from North Dakota State who'd only played 1 season. Mac Jones slid all the way to pick 15, where the Patriots would grab him. Now here's what people don't know. Shanahan actually wanted Mac Jones. In 2022 on the I Am Athlete podcast, Shanahan finally confirmed what everyone suspected.
And there was 2 that I really wanted.
Who was the second?
Mac. Yeah, Mac Jones and Trey. Those are the 2 guys that we were locked in on from the beginning.
Think about that for a second. The 49ers mortgaged their future, giving up all those picks, and it came down to these 2 guys. Shanahan compared the decision to buying a house. He said with Mac, you could see what you were getting. Solid, proven, and ready to go. With Lance, it was all about the potential, the upside, the what if. So they went with the potential. They went with Trey Lance's arm strength, his mobility, his athleticism. In a league where Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and Patrick Mahomes were taking over, it made sense. You wanted that dual threat quarterback who could do it all. And it didn't work out, like, at all. Meanwhile, Mac Jones was having a completely different journey in New England, and honestly, year 1 was pretty damn good. Jones's rookie season in 2021 was everything the Patriots had hoped for. He started every game, went 10-7, threw for 3,801 yards with 22 touchdowns and 13 interceptions, completed 67.6% of his passes, and even made the Pro Bowl. He became the first Patriots rookie quarterback to earn Pro Bowl honors. He led them to the playoffs for the first time since Tom Brady left. People were calling him the next great Patriots quarterback. But here's where everything fell apart. Josh McDaniels left to become the head coach of the Raiders, and Bill Belichick, in maybe his worst coaching decision ever, decided to put Matt Patricia, a defensive coach, in charge of calling plays, and Joe Judge, a special teams coach, in charge of coaching the quarterbacks. You literally can't make this stuff up. Mac's second season was rough. He threw 5 interceptions in the first 3 games. He got hurt and he got benched multiple times for Bailey Zappi. The offense was a mess. Mac looked lost, and you could see him getting in his own head. There were sideline tantrums, visible frustration, the whole 9 yards. The Patriots would finish 8-9. Then came 2023, and despite the Patriots bringing in Bill O'Brien to fix the offense, somehow everything got way worse, and it was too late at this point. Mac Jones threw 10 touchdowns and 12 interceptions in 11 games. Then he got benched for good after week 12 against the Giants, where he threw 2 picks in the first half of a 10-7 loss. The Patriots were 2-9. It was over. In March of 2004, the Patriots traded Mac Jones to Jacksonville for a 6th round pick. A 6th rounder for a guy that they had taken 15th overall just 3 years earlier. That's how far his value had fallen. Jacksonville wasn't much better. Mac started 7 games when Trevor Lawrence got hurt. He went 2-5, threw 8 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. The Jaguars averaged just 15 points per game with him starting. And when the season ended, the Jags declined his 5th-year option. They basically said, thanks, but no thanks. At this point, Mac Jones was 26 years old with a 22-29 career record as a starter. He'd gone from Pro Bowl rookie to journeyman backup in 3 years. The narrative was set. Mac Jones was a bust, a product of Alabama's talent, a guy who couldn't cut it without an elite system around him. And that's when Dan Orlovsky said something that got him absolutely roasted. On October 9th, 2023, on ESPN's Get Up, Mac Jones had just been benched again by the Patriots. The Niners were 5-0, and Brock Purdy looked unstoppable. That's when Dan Orlovsky Orlovsky drops this bombshell.
If Mac Jones was in San Francisco, he would be playing like Brock Purdy.
I actually agree.
Oh,
Rex Ryan lost it.
no.
Yes, dude.
No, there's no chance. He'd be better than he is. But if you think he's going to play like Brock Purdy,
Rex.
you haven't paid attention to Brock Purdy.
George Kittle called it disrespectful to Brock Purdy. Shannon Sharp was calling Purdy a system quarterback. The entire NFL media world was debating whether Purdy was legit or just a product of Shanahan's offense. Orlovsky tried to clarify on Twitter, saying he's awesome and playing MVP level football. He's changed San Francisco's offense. This is to say that Mac Jones is a much better player than what New England is allowing him to be. But the damage was already done. Everyone thought Orlovsky was crazy. Mac Jones like Brock Purdy? Come on. Well, fast forward to October of 2025, and suddenly Orlovsky's looking like a prophet. On March of 2025, Mac Jones signed with the 49ers on a 2-year deal worth $8.41 million with a $4.75 million guarantee. That's an average annual value of just $4.2 million. For context, that's we need insurance money. When Jones met with the media, someone asked if he and Shanahan had addressed what happened in the 2021 draft. You know, the whole "we almost drafted you but didn't" thing. Mac Jones just smiled and said, "Yeah, we got into a huge fight. Nah, I'm kidding, we're cool."
But whatever happened in 2021, you ever address that before you decided to come here?
Yeah, we got in a huge fight. We were cool.
4 years after Shanahan wanted to draft him, Mac Jones was finally in San Francisco, but he was the backup. Purdy was Mr. Irrelevant turned superstar. He was the guy. Mac Jones was just there to hold a clipboard. Then week 1 happened. The 49ers beat Seattle, but Brock Purdy hurt his toe and his shoulder. He tried to play through it, but by week 2 it was clear. Purdy needed time. Mac Jones was getting the start against the Saints. And man, did he deliver. Week 2 against New Orleans, Mac went out there and showed everyone why Shanahan wanted him in 2021. He looked calm, he looked confident, he was making the right reads, getting the ball out quickly, hitting his receivers in stride. The 49ers won. Week 3 against Arizona, another win. Mac was managing the game, making smart decisions, and not trying to do too much, just executing the offense the way Shanahan drew it up. Then came week 5, Thursday Night Football. This wasn't the New Orleans Saints anymore. This was without a doubt the 49ers' biggest threat to winning the division, the 3-1 Los Angeles Rams. This wasn't just any game, this was the game that started the quarterback controversy. This was the game where Mac Jones made everyone remember who he was. The 49ers were massive underdogs. They were missing Brock Purdy, obviously, but they were also without Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, Ricky Pearsall, and Jawan Jennings. Their top 3 receivers were out. Mac's primary targets were guys like DeMarcus Robinson, Kendrick Bourne, and Marquez Valdez-Scantling, 2 of whom weren't even on the roster a month ago. The 49ers were 8.5-point underdogs. Kyle Shanahan even told Mac before the game that they were touchdown underdogs, trying to motivate him. What did Mac do? He went out and threw for 342 yards and 2 touchdowns in a 26-23 overtime win. He was battling through a sprained knee and a cramping forearm, but he kept slinging it. He led a 91-yard touchdown drive. He hit Christian McCaffrey for scores, and he was making plays under pressure. It was the biggest upset of the 2025 season so far, and Mac Jones was the reason why. After the game, people started asking the question, should Mac Jones keep starting even when Brock Purdy is healthy? And here's how Mac reacted to the question.
I think, they brought me here to play as a backup, and that's my job, and Brock's the starter of this team, and right now he's dealing with something, and for him to go out there last week and play when he probably wasn't at full health, like, he cares about this team. So I'm just trying to get some wins for him so it helps us down the line, and at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. Like, I've been in his position, I've been a starter, and you want your backup to go in there and win, because at the end of the season, that could be the hit or miss between a playoff or not. So
dude is a class act with no ego, just a guy who's happy to be playing meaningful football again. So let's talk about the stats, because this is where it gets really interesting. Through 3 starts in 2025, Mac Jones is undefeated, 3-0. He's completing 66.7% of his passes for 905 passing yards, 6 touchdowns, and just 1 interception. It's a TD to interception ratio of 6-1. He's playing efficient, smart football with absolutely no supporting cast except for Christian McCaffrey. McCaffrey. Now let's take a look at Brock Purdy in 2025. Through his 2 starts before getting hurt, he has a 1-1 record, a 65.8% completion percentage, 586 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions. Well, let me say that again. Brock Purdy has thrown more interceptions in 2 games than Mac Jones has thrown in 3 games. Mac has more wins, more passing yards, more touchdowns, fewer interceptions, and a slightly better completion percentage than Brock Purdy. Oh, and remember Brock Purdy's contract, 5 years and $265 million. That's $53 million per year. He got $181 million guaranteed at signing. That's the 7th highest annual value among all quarterbacks in the NFL. Mac Jones, he's making $4.2 million per year. Let me put that in perspective. For every $1 the 49ers are paying Mac Jones, they're paying Brock Purdy $12.50. And right now in 2025, Mac Jones is literally outperforming him at a fraction of the cost. Now, I know what you guys are thinking.
Mike, it's only been a few games. Let's not go there.
And you're right. We're talking about a very small sample size. But here's the thing. Context matters, and the context here is very fascinating. Remember all those debates about whether Brock Purdy was a system quarterback, whether he was just a product of Kyle Shanahan's offense and all that elite talent around him? Well, Mac Jones is literally playing in the same offense right now, with less talent actually, because of all the injuries, and he's still winning games. This doesn't mean that Brock Purdy isn't good. He's absolutely a talented quarterback. He led the 49ers to a Super Bowl, for crying out loud. But what Mac Jones is doing right now is proving something important. Kyle Shanahan's system elevates quarterbacks. It's designed to put them in a position to succeed. Dan Orlovsky tried to say this in 2023 and he got destroyed for it. But he was right. He wasn't trying to disrespect Purdy. He was just trying to say that Mac Jones was better than people thought, and that the situation in New England was holding him back. Now we're seeing it play out in real time. Mac Jones and Kyle Shanahan's offense, with Shanahan's play calling and scheme, looks like a completely different quarterback than he did in New England or Jacksonville. And here's the crazy part. This is what Shanahan wanted all along. He wanted Mac Jones in 2021. He watched him for 4 years struggling in bad situations. And the moment Mac became available, Shanahan signed him. It was like he was waiting for this chance. Like he's been saying, "I told you so" this whole time. Now, I'd be lying if I didn't mention one factor in all of this. The 49ers have the easiest schedule in the entire NFL this year. I'm serious. According to both traditional metrics and projected win totals, the 49ers have the easiest strength of schedule for 2025. Their opponents had a combined 415 winning percentage in 2024. That's the lowest in the league. They only play 4 games against teams that made the playoffs last season. So yes, Mac Jones is putting up great numbers, but he's also playing teams like the Saints, who were 5-12 last year, the Cardinals, who were 8-9 last year. They have games against the Cleveland Browns and the New York Giants coming up. They were both 3-14 last year. Does this mean Mac's success is inflated? Maybe a little, but here's the counter argument. Brock Purdy is playing the same schedule against the same teams, and he threw 4 interceptions in his first 2 games. The schedule is what it is. Mac can only play the teams in front of him, and so far he's 3-0. He's making smart decisions, he's not turning the ball over, and he's doing exactly what this offense needs. So where does this leave us? What happens when Brock Purdy is healthy? Well, unless something dramatically changes, Purdy is going to go back to being the starter. He's got that $265 million contract. He's earned the respect of the locker room. He's taken this team to the Super Bowl. You don't bench that guy for Mac Jones after a few good games. But here's what it does do. It completely changes the conversation about both quarterbacks. For Mac Jones, this is his redemption. This is proof that he's not a bust, that he can play at a high level when he's in the right system with the right coaching. Maybe he's not a franchise quarterback who is going to carry a team on his back, but he's absolutely a guy who can win you games at the right situation. And you know what? That's valuable, really valuable. There are teams in the league right now who would kill to have a quarterback that's playing as well as Mac Jones is. Take the Cleveland Browns, for instance. They are literally revolving the door at the quarterback position and have one of the best defenses in the entire NFL. Mac just showed that he can be a legitimate starter in this league. For Brock Purdy, this creates an interesting question. How much of his success is him, and how much of it is the system? I'm not saying he's not talented, he clearly is, but when your backup comes in and arguably plays better than you are playing, it certainly raises questions, especially when you're making $53 million a year. The 49ers bet big on Purdy. They gave him that massive extension. They restructured their entire roster to afford him, losing significant players in the process. And now Mac Jones is out here winning games and making $4.2 million a year. The whole situation tells us something important about the NFL. Fit matters, system matters, coaching matters, sometimes more than raw talent. Mac Jones didn't suddenly become a different player. He's the same guy who won 10 games as a rookie. He's just in a better situation now. Better coaching, better play calling, better weapons, better everything. Think about all the other quarterbacks who've struggled and then found success in new situations. Baker Mayfield was cast away in Cleveland, looked terrible in Carolina, and then became a Pro Bowler in Tampa. Sam Darnold struggled in New York and Carolina, went to Minnesota as a backup, had an MVP caliber season in 2024 before signing with Seattle. Geno Smith was out of the league and then became a Pro Bowler in Seattle. The NFL is full of these stories. Quarterbacks who struggled in one place and thrived in another. And Mac Jones is just the latest example. Kyle Shanahan deserves credit here too. He saw something in Mac in 2021 and he wanted to draft him. And even after watching Mac struggle for 4 years, he still believed in him enough to sign him. And now he's getting vindication for that belief. At the end of the day, I'm not saying that Mac Jones is better than Purdy. I'm not saying the 49ers should make him the starter permanently. That would be crazy. But what I am saying is this: Mac Jones is proving that he's a legitimate NFL quarterback when he's in the right situation. He's proving that Dan Orlovsky wasn't crazy for defending him. He's proving that Kyle Shanahan was right to want him in 2021. And he's proving that sometimes the story isn't over just because everyone says it is. Mac Jones was written off as a bust, traded for a 6th round pick, playing backup in Jacksonville, and now he's undefeated as a starter for one of the NFL's most storied franchises, outperforming a $265 million quarterback while making a fraction of the cost. That's one hell of a redemption story, and honestly, I'm here for it, because in a league that's so quick to give up on players, it's refreshing to see a guy get another chance and actually take advantage of it. Mac Jones is showing everyone that he belongs, that he can play, that he was never really the problem. The system was, the coaching was, and the situation was. You put him in the right place with the right coach, and suddenly Mac Jones looks like the guy who made the Pro Bowl as a rookie, the guy that Kyle Shanahan wanted all along. So let me know in the comment section down below. Should Mac Jones be the new starter of the San Francisco 49ers? Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.